internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. This is extremely devastating. There was a video that I published 4 months ago, and the FSB came out with a document just a couple of weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, and shot the ciphers for this one. I went through it, the whole 9 yards, 2 good pointers, and then I'm going to show you what we talked about 4 months ago. And the price of XRP at the time was 40 cents. And when you hear the way I presented this video, it's going to make you go, wow, like how did nobody see this? And it only has 10,000 views even right now, okay? It's going to completely shock you. Right now, the value of XRP is handsomely hanging around at $2.55. But you know what? Boom. Oh my goodness, guys. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. It's going to happen. Okay? Get used to it. Look at it so you could kind of not have sudden wealth syndrome right away. Okay? Or like have a heart attack or a panic attack or, you know, like pacing around your house or you can't stop smiling. Listen, when I said it's going to reward you very handsomely, I meant that. It's going to put a smile on your face and you're going to look much more handsome than you already are right now, okay? So here's the thing. I don't know what to say. I'm lost for words. If you're new to the XRP community, welcome. You don't have time to buy right now. We're about to see institutions open their floodgates and pour their capital in this ecosystem while utility tokens get absolutely hammered with all that with that capital as well. Okay, so the best that you could do right now if you're new to crypto is buy. I know it sounds like a Ponzi scheme kind of like thing, but listen, this is going to be the next leg up. Like, remember what I've told you guys about Stairway to Heaven? This is playing out perfectly. This next leg up is going to be tremendous. I know it's too good to be, like you guys think it's too good to be true, but it realistically isn't. And the information that's going to be presented in today's video, this is what was all leading up to this, what we're about to witness, okay? So everything that we have discussed is all that leading up to this big kaboom moment. And we're finally about to see it. And, you know, words cannot describe the XRP chart. You know, it's probably like, wow, I can't believe, like, yeah, it's real. You know, it's absolutely real. So take a look at this. The FSB, Financial Stability Board. We were on top of these guys the moment they started putting out their agendas because it was crucial. And now they're coming out, and this is going to tie perfectly with what we covered. It is tremendously disturbing. In the event that a global systemically important bank fails, and you guys are probably wondering what that means, like what is a global systemically important bank? Well, it is this is the list of them. Okay, so we got JP Morgan, we got HSBC, Citigroup, all going to be working directly or indirectly with Ripple 100%. You just cannot stop it. So these are all the banks, Bank of China, pretty much all the big banks, right? MUFG, Ripple Partner. They're saying, you know, they got to be prepared. Okay, so listen to this, right? So if it fails, the ability of an authority to effectively implement resolution in cross-border context is essential. So if something fails, okay, let me reread that. So in the event that a global systemically important bank fails, the ability of an authority to effectively implement resolution in cross-border context is essential. Increased efforts are needed to ensure the effective execution of bail-in powers in cross-border contexts. And this is very important because if you guys remember the 2008 financial crisis, again, it wasn't just the fraud, right? Like it was the system itself also failed. And then ironically, blockchain comes out, you know, just the next year. Yeah. It's not planned at all. So remember this.
So you may remember there were New Yorker articles about, oh, Alan Greenspan says markets don't work and stuff like this. Yeah, that's the first part of the sentence. The second part, fraud, settlement, and securitization. Fraud was things like Bernie Madoff, securitization, mortgage-backed securities. This settlement thing has been sort of written out of history. 2008 was a settlement crisis. What happened on that Wednesday? Lehman went broke on Sunday. They didn't do anything. It was on Wednesday morning the settlement system froze. That's been written out of history.
And then when we go further into the video, okay, so this is where the bullish part is, and this is when we could now 100% say, yes, like this is it. Like this just puts another massive layer of icing on the cake. The FSB made good progress this year with priority actions intended to address fundamental, legal, regulatory, and supervisory frictions in cross-border payments. That is like, are you hearing those words? Like, that is incredible. This includes issues related to data sharing and to the uneven playing field resulting from the inconsistent supervision and regulation of banks and non-bank payment service providers. The FSB expects to finalize the policy recommendations to address these frictions by year end. And here's the thing, the new individuals watching, I just got to make this statement. This is what all we did was read documents for the past 5 years on this channel. And I've told my viewers that, nobody does this. It's boring. Nobody has the attention span, or they don't really understand the size of this transition, but everything's being documented. Like this is history in the making. So you follow history. They're not going to tell you this at CNBC. They're not going to come out and read you this PDF by the Financial Stability Board, right? You got to go do it yourself. It's all out there. And then listen to this. Strong progress has been made in priority actions relating to key foundational areas for cross-border payments, such as developing harmonized ISO 20022 data requirements, considering the extension of operating hours, developing recommendations for harmonized application programming interfaces in cross-border payments, and setting out key decision for the governance of interlinking of fast payment systems and developing recommendations for their oversight. Wow, like that is just incredible. Like, beautiful is what I want to say. Like that is just beautiful right there. That's that whole paragraph. And now you guys are going to get completely, like your jaws are going to hit the floor here. Like this information is like indisputable, and that's why I always get like, I don't get frustrated. I get angry that like, how do people not see this? Like, and then that's why I call them stupid, because it's like, how do you, like the way it's presented, how do you not understand this? Like, it's just incredible. But again, lots of learning to do if you're new to this ecosystem. There's way too much stuff, okay, that one video is not going to do justice. But this part of the video, okay, this was 4 months ago. Listen very carefully. It ties perfectly. It's like tremendously disturbing how incredibly it ties into all this. And Ripple and XRP in the future and what's being all designed behind the scenes. Ladies and gentlemen, incredible stuff you're about to hear right now. XRP is getting ready for this next move. Incredible, to say the least. And this, if we take a look at the all chart, this, like, you think it's going to just stop at, you think it's going to 8, 9, 10, it's all coming. It's all coming, and it's going to come a lot faster than a lot of people realize. Like, it's tremendous. I'm in a state of shock to what we're about to witness. I'm not trying to hype anything up. Like, do you understand what happened when Bitcoin, just one note here, one take, when Bitcoin dropped $10,000 on a 5-minute candle the other day? Uncertainty, right? Ripple, XRP goes down like 30 cents. People are unsure if it's going to come down even more. But what did I say when this started? I said, this is a very, very monumental moment for XRP to really live up to its utility and its purpose of remaining an asset that's stable in value, and it will increase its liquidity pool, aka its market capitalization, right? So Stairway to Heaven, if this is the real go, if this is it, if this is the regulations coming, everything is set to go, this thing is only going to go up. And like I said, at $1 XRP, you could kiss that goodbye. Maybe a pandemic. No, it logically doesn't even make sense if something really, really bad happens for it even to have a drastic drawback. Just based off of what it's doing in this ecosystem. If you will understand what I'm trying to say there, it's very complicated in some manner. So with that being said, take a listen to this. Remember the 4 Sundays? Well, we are gonna recap everything, and in 2024, the accuracy is unbelievable. First of all, we gotta set the tone right off the bat. In October 2020, the G20 endorsed a roadmap to enhancing cross-border payments. The roadmap was developed by the Financial Stability Board in coordination with the Bank for International Settlements Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure, and that is the CPMI, keep that in mind, and other relevant international organizations and standard-setting bodies like the IMF, the World Bank, or we're all involved. And now take a listen to what Klaus Knott says here. He has been serving as the chair of the Financial Stability Board since 2021, and he's also looking over General Board of European Systemic Risk Board, and also a member of the International Monetary Fund's Board of Governors, and he's also the Board of Directors on the Bank of International Settlements. This is huge. And take a look at this part, right? European systemic risk. Remember systemic risk? We also have Sandy O'Connor within Ripple. Okay, currently at the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and she is presently the Systemic Resolution Advisory Committee member. We have everything on our roster, okay? And now just take a listen to what Klaus Knott says here, because this G20, FSB, this was a big deal, and I made it a big deal when they announced it, when I, covered it back in 2021, and people thought it was speculation. But 2024, we couldn't be any, we're so accurate.
Such a ban. So the emphasis from the financial stability perspectives has come from, let's say, 2 things. First of all, to the extent that deficiencies in our traditional global cross-border payments world were one of the sources of this crypto space to flourish, we should address these weaknesses. That's the reason why we have this global cross-border payments agenda, a G20 agenda, again, that you, together with Fabio Panetta from Banca d'Italia, that you coordinate within the FSB. Together with Fabio Panetta
is to create a technological bridge between the central bank's cash settlement system and the external private DLT platform.
And the other one is to try to come up with an as convincing as possible global framework of regulating crypto asset activities and global stablecoins. Regulating the well-known risks in this space like AML, CFT.
He refers to Fabio Panetta. This is very important. Before we get into what he says, remember this documentation from Bank of Italia, market infrastructures, payment systems, and they were talking about carbon footprint, and they were comparing Bitcoin, Visa, and Ripple and XRP. This is some crazy stuff that, that goes unnoticed. They were doing calculations on carbon footprint and how, Ripple XRP ended up being better than Ether and Visa for this test run. But listen to what he says here.
As I mentioned earlier, many central banks are now involved in CBDC projects, in wholesale CBDC projects. Let me give you an example from the Eurosystem perspective, as the Eurosystem is experimenting new solutions based on DLT, and how these experiments could interact with the target services. The target services are the infrastructure that we use for interbank transactions in the euro area. So how this could be used to interact with target services to settle the euro cash leg of transactions in central bank money. One option we are currently examining is to create a technological bridge between the central bank's cash settlement system and the external private DLT platform that manage tokenized digital assets. This option focuses mainly on use cases such as delivery versus payment, secondary market transactions, and life cycle management of securities. But we are also exploring another option that is an option based on the creation from scratch of a Eurosystem DLT platform for Euro Central Bank money settlement, combined with a technical interface between this platform and market DLT platforms.
But our clients don't want a city token or another bank token. What they want is cross-bank, cross-border liquidity.
Liability network with the Fed and other banks. Like, clients don't want, individual bank tokens. They want multi-token, multi-border liquidity for added efficiencies.
What is going on? What is going on? Well, let's take a look at the G20 roadmap for enhancing cross-border payments. This was published in 2021, and this is since the time of Mr. Nod being there, okay? And the biggest giveaway here where, stats just don't lie is in Q4 2021, they were set to explore liquidity bridges. This was November 2021. And look at this where we are in 2024. And I know I've covered this in the past, but ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and smash that like button, because now we could sit here and say, I said it was 100% Ripple was behind this because we had the facts, okay? When you go into the XRP scan, I'll leave the link in the description down below. When you go to this timeline, this is not a coincidence. You don't have the FSB coincidentally doing a liquidity bridge exploration, so they're testing stuff, November 2021, and then you have Ripple, like, look at this, Sunday, and it was done on a Sunday, November 21st, look at the transactions executed spike, number of currency exchanges spike Sunday, November 21st, the payments spiked as numbers that we have never seen before at those times. And successful payments spike November 21st on a Sunday. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But this right here is not a coincidence. It was done on a Sunday, which is not a business day. And the FSB G20 timeline states November 2021. They don't put the exact date of when they're going to explore these liquidity bridges. But guess what? They messed around with Ripple and XRP, and there's no denying that. And wait until the price frickin' moons. And I cannot wait for the individuals that missed out on this opportunity. I genuinely, for the ones that missed out on this opportunity, it's going to be truly devastating. Very, very devastating. Mark my words. And in terms of standard setting bodies, listen to this, right? That's what SSB stands for. If we go on to another timeline that they had published, so if we take a look at January 2025 to December 2025, so now we could confirm, like I said, Q4 leading into 2025 is going to be very, very bullish, because they go and state that standard setting bodies and national authorities to monitor implementation by the market, including private sector alignment with international and domestic frameworks. That is significant. So everything is going to be, and supposedly should be, running smoothly and slowly scaling in, okay? And that's when the standard setting bodies and national authorities are going to monitor their implementation along with the private sector alignment. How do people not see this? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But continuing on to a 2022 PDF, improving access to payment systems for cross-border payments from the BIS Innovation Hub, Bank for International Settlements. Very, very important. They state that some payment systems have partial indirect access models that allow indirect participants to directly send and receive their own payments. while using another participant as a settlement provider as described in section 2. And it says number 28, which I will go ahead and read that part out to you, but this is insane. Remember what I said. Ripple could be working directly or indirectly, and they just told you this. Some payment systems have partial indirect access models that allow indirect participants to directly send and receive their own payments while using other participants as a settlement provider as described in section 2. And when we go to 28, listen to what they say here. This can be achieved by allowing an indirect participant to establish a direct technical connection to the payment system or use a third-party technology service provider to establish a connection on behalf of their technical agitators. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't understand how much more clear this needs to get. I cannot understand how much more clear this needs to get. They're not going to tell you exactly what they're going to be doing. You got to read it between the lines. And who's going to win? The choice of the participant model is one of the various factors that can influence the speed, cost, transparency, and efficiency of cross-border payments as described below. This is some big stuff. We are going through a huge transition, and I'm so excited for all of us to be a part of this. And you see how they added Ripple to the CPMI, right? The Committee on Payments Market Infrastructures in July 2024. Listen, they were here a long time ago, and I don't even give a rat's ass what you have to say on the other end if you think I'm speculating here. Ripple was publicly announced to be a part of the CPMI in 2024. And you're telling me back in 2020, when the CPMI, the BIS, they were all together, the FSB, you're telling me Ripple had no say in that? You guys, if you think that they had no say, you are absolutely mistaken. You are absolutely mistaken. And this 2021 liquidity bridge exploration, you just can't make this stuff up. It's literally right in front of you. It's dated. The transaction spiked. It is not a coincidence that it happened in the same year, in the same month, and ironically, the FSB was telling you the exact same month. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and smash that like button. With that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 XRP, it's going to happen. It's going to happen with certainty. It's just a matter of if you're going to be holding it for that long and if you don't sell too early. I'd appreciate every single one of you guys, and we'll be back with another video.
Put you on the spot here. No, it's very simple. So I think one thing, if there is one message that you can get in this room is Ripple is not an ordinary company. We are not here to have a small market share or do X, do Y, and make small amount of money or something to happen. We are here to make a dent in the universe. Either we will change the remittance universe, the way you understand, the way value gets transferred across the world, between people, between institutions, or we will just fade away. So it's almost 0 or 1, and some of it comes from our Silicon Valley arrogance. Some of it comes from, that's the reason 6 years ago, we were born with a mission of moving money like information moves today, right? And we are making it possible working with the existing ecosystem. So I think this is a key differentiator about Ripple, and that's the reason we are a monoline company. Every day we get tens of ideas to say, why don't you do security settlement? Why don't you work in trade finance? Why don't you do X, Y, Z? And what we tell them is just cross-border remittances is $155 trillion problem. We'll solve this first. We'll make a difference to everybody who's present in this room. And once we have made the difference, then only we will look at something else.
Building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.